to be in a constant fear of judgment, which is basically perfectionism, means you're living with some negative ass internal dialogue, aren't you? You got a mean inner girl, don't you? You're constantly looking for where you're falling short. You're constantly telling yourself it's not enough. You're constantly criticizing what you're seeing in the mirror. You're constantly telling yourself that you bombed that presentation. Whether you know it or not, are in a perpetual state of negative internal dialogue.
Hey, I'm Brooke Jean, therapist, recovering perfectionist, and struggling working mom on a mission to normalize normal. If you're an overwhelmed, high-achieving, and secretly anxious mama, struggling to balance it all and on the brink of burnout, you are in the right place. Here is where we talk about hard things like balancing work and family life, mental health, and how to navigate life-altering transitions. Nothing is too taboo here. In my conversations, I'll teach you how to let go of who you think you're supposed to be in order to create the life you've always wanted. Get ready to embrace your messy, shed the shoulds, and find freedom through a life unperfected. This is the Unperfected Pod.
Welcome back, my loves. My name is Brooke Jean, and I am your host of this Unperfected Pod. And I am just going to put it out there right out of the gates that tonight's pod is going to be a little bit of a shit show. It's Tuesday. I normally record on Monday, but my nanny is out of town. And Tuesdays are my Tuesdays with Chloe for the summer. So I spent all day with my sweet girl. We went swimming. We went to the pool. We've done all the things. I am butt-ass tired, but I have got to get this podcast recorded. So I am in a different environment if you're watching this on YouTube, because I just couldn't even sit in the same old. I needed to switch it up. I needed to do something different. So I'm sitting in my therapist chair, no makeup on. You can tell I've been to the pool or something, but let's freaking do this because we're here to normalize normal. And as working moms, this can be pretty darn normal, can't it? So anyways, I don't know if the sound quality is going to be the same. The light is certainly not as bright, but I don't give an F because this is just what we need to get through, to get by, to show up anyways. So anyways, tonight also it's evening time, which usually by this time I've got about a total of 2 brain cells functioning and communicating with one another. So we'll see how well we can articulate our thoughts, but let's just have some fun and let's embrace the messy, because you know what? That is actually the topic for this podcast episode, which is the 3 costs of perfectionism, right? Perfectionism, the old me, would never show up this way with no hair, no makeup, no plan, not the right lighting, not the right sound, not the right energy. I wouldn't have shown up. I would have procrastinated more or maybe even canceled altogether. And that keeps us stuck in 3 massive ways that we're going to discuss tonight. But before we jump into what I have found to be the 3 costs of perfectionism, I wanted to take a minute to first explain perfectionism. So the actual definition of perfectionism online is perfectionism is often defined as the need to be or appear to be perfect, or even to believe that it's possible to achieve perfection. It is typically viewed as a positive trait rather than a flaw. People may use the term healthy perfectionism to describe or justify perfectionistic behavior. And the definition that I have written down in my notes is perfectionism is a survival strategy to help us avoid judgment, right? So you guys know the brand Unperfected is all about embracing our messy, shedding the shoulds, and really integrating all parts of who we are, because I believe it's that in that space is where our magic and our essence really truly lives. But as human beings, but especially as girls growing up, we learn that we are not good enough, good blank enough, like skinny enough, smart enough, mysterious enough, sexy enough. We learn somewhere along the way that we're not something enough. And so we get busy hiding those parts of us that we deem socially unacceptable or socially undesirable. And we try to hide those parts. So the part that isn't smart, the part that is too loud, the part that is too much, the part that didn't give a shit about what people think. We somewhere along the way, we go, well, that nobody likes that. I need to keep that hidden. And we start to put on this mask, this armor around this ideal of perfection. And so this ideal of perfection is different for each and every one of us based on our conditioning and based on our core beliefs that we have around what being good enough looks like. But perfectionism is really born out of this wanting to fit in, wanting to be socially desirable, wanting to be enough. And if I just perfect, if I just perform, if I just perfect, then maybe I'll be accepted in this world or validated in this world or seen in this world or lovable or worthy of what I desire in this world. And so in this attempt to keep up, in this attempt to keep our flaws hidden, we put on this mask, right? The perfectionistic mask, and it gets exhausting over time. We try to outrun our flaws. We try to outperform our flaws. We try to outshine our flaws. And let me just tell you that eventually it catches up to us. Eventually it catches up to us. This is why I burnt out at 33 years old in my first corporate career, because I was trying to be the perfect mother and the perfect leader, I guess growing, but climbing that corporate ladder and burning the candle at both ends while wearing this mask was truly making me sick. And so tonight, I want to talk about the 3 costs that I think come with being stuck in perfectionism. So the first thing is procrastination. So there's a real cost to what we can do when we get stuck in perfectionism, because perfectionism, again, is a way to avoid judgment. So a lot of times we don't put ourselves out there because we're afraid to be seen, we're afraid to be judged. We don't complete that project. We wait till the last minute. We procrastinate because we're taking the time to go back and look at it again and again and change it and adjust it again and again. And guys, listen to me when I say we don't have time for that shit in this busy world. We do not have time to be perfecting that blog before you post it. We don't have time to be perfecting your message before you go live on Instagram. We don't have time for you to perfect your website before you launch it or your product. Get the shit out there and we'll tweak it as we go. But this deep, desperate fear of being judged, this drive for perfectionism prevents us from doing the damn thing. And it creates serious anxiety, performance anxiety, and procrastination in the things that we want to get done. Because if you're not going to show up for that blind date until you lose 10 pounds, what are you missing out on? If you're not going to launch that business or product or service into the world because it needs to be perfected, what might you be missing out on? If you're not going to go for that promotion or grow your family or whatever that next thing is, if you're going to wait until you have it all figured out and it's all perfect, you are missing the point, my love. Because it is in the courage and vulnerability of putting yourself out there and what you learn about yourself in that process that is going to make you successful in the first place. It's the failing forward and showing up again and again anyway that is going to show you what you're made of, that's going to help you believe in yourself and trust in yourself to be sustainable in the long run. It's like that process of showing up anyway and learning as you go is the juicy stuff. That is what is going to determine your level of success and sustainability. And by the way, if you're just waiting until it's perfect, other people are passing your fanny by. And while I'm not about the race and the hustle, I believe that we have to rest and then go out and do the damn thing and then rest and then go out. I do think those that are just frozen in, analysis paralysis are getting passed by. You've got to thaw yourself out and make a damn move, honey. It doesn't need to be perfect. When I look back at my first website, when I look back at some of the first lives that I did, when I look back at some of the first products I launched into the world, it's kind of funny. It's a little cringy. I'm not going to lie. It's a little freaking cringy. But listen, honey, everybody fucking starts somewhere. Everybody starts somewhere. And because I started 7 years ago, unsure, unclear, unperfected, now I'm where I'm at 7 years into this business and growing every day and working with clients and a team that's amazing and getting clarity on the mission and the impact that I want to make in the world. If I would have waited until what I know now, no way, I would be 7 years behind. So you have to start, my love. You have to show yourself the same grace and space you would me or your best friend or your sister or your brother or your mother or whomever, and allow yourself to be messy and allow yourself to be a novice and allow yourself to learn as you go. You get to do that. Everybody gets to be a novice and everybody deserves grace and space. And it's those that fail forward continuously that actually get where they want to go eventually. So do not let the cost of procrastination, the cost of actually doing the damn thing happen to you because of perfectionism. Number 2, and this one, girl, I could go all the way off for days on this. It costs you your authenticity, and that's a real freaking problem. Why? Because you were born on this planet for a reason, with the exact set of skills and gifts and soul that you have, and it's that soul's expression that is needed on the planet as we speak. It is all of you that is needed on the planet, that is needed in your family, that is needed in your business, that is needed on your team. It's not the cut up, masked, armored up version of you. The one that you only put your best foot forward. Nobody's interested in that, honey. It's you and all your parts. Yes, your gifts and your gems and your soul's essence, that's part of it, but so is your flaws. So that's why the higher level idea, the higher level work that we do with the Unperfected brand is something called integration. It's a psychological phenomenon where you integrate all your parts. You accept all of you, the good, the bad, the ugly, the dirty, honey. Because it's when you accept all of you that the fireworks start to go off. It's when you accept all of you that you no longer have blind spots. It's when you accept all of you that you have a self-awareness that creates an energy that is magnetic and starts to attract the right people, places, and things to you. It's where you start to exude grounded confidence because there's not a thing about you that you don't know about you already. And you've made peace with it and you're working on those things. It's when we embrace our messy that we can actually see our gifts more clearly. It's when we embrace the darkness that we can see the light. I know it sounds cheesy and cliche, but it's freaking real. And so when you're busy being a perfectionist, when you're busy in your perfection, when you're hiding parts of you, you are dimming your light, you are dampening your expression, and you are not showing us your most authentic self. And I don't care how messy your shadow is, your most authentic self is absolutely magnificent and beautiful and real and vulnerable. And it's exactly what the world needs. We need to start talking about this. We need safe places to talk about this, especially in the workplace, because the workplace is the place that you really show up masked and armored. And when we do that, when we're not tapping into our fullest expression, we're also not performing at our potential. So the same time as we're like dimming our light to not show our flaws at the workplace, we're also cutting off to the deeper part of our brain where our brilliance lies, to our creativity, to our ability to collaborate and connect authentically and deeply. And it's like in that is where I think the good shit's going to be born and created into the world. And so it's also really costing us, I believe, creation at work. We are limiting our potential. We are limiting what's possible in what we can create and do in the workplace when we're only showing up as half of us, the part that we think is socially desirable, right? So that's not okay. I'm seeing so many women who are wearing their mask, they're armored up, they're trying to perfect their way out of things, they're people-pleasing the living daylights out of things. And yes, they have a good career, yes, they have a family, they have a marriage, they have the car, but they're miserable on the inside. Why? Not because they're ungrateful grapes, but because they're not in their authenticity. One of the reasons that we have anxiety is because we're not living true to ourselves. It's not the only reason we have anxiety. There are several things that cause anxiety. But when we are being incongruent with who we really are and what really matters most, we're going to be anxious because there's a part of us that's really bright and brilliant and knows this is not who we are. This is not what we should be spending our time, energy, and sanity on. This is not the job we want. This is not the marriage we want. This is not the hobbies we want. This is not where we want to live. And you're going to be uncomfortable until you start living in alignment with your authenticity, with what actually lights you up, with who the hell you are under who the hell the world told you to be, right? And so that's something that I hope we can all agree that piece by piece we deserve to take the mask and the armor off, and that we are allowed to get curious about who we are under those masks, and that we allow piece by piece that truth to unfold, that truth to emerge. And how do we do that is all the things I've been teaching you guys. Sitting still, getting into meditation, journaling, asking yourself what lights you up. What did you love to do when you were little? Listening to your body. What is your body like? What is a hell yes in your body versus a hell no? Right? Everything I'm teaching you guys is really truly at the crux of it to help you unveil your fullest expression so you can live in your authenticity. And so you can make a difference in your family, in the world, in your communities, because from that place we're unfreaking stoppable. P.S. Can you imagine how much energy you're going to save when you're not wearing your mask and your armor? I can speak from personal experience. You will have energy to write a book, to create a program, to work on your marriage, to raise your kids the way you want to raise them when you stop trying to be someone you're not. And it's not your fault, babe. It's not your fault. We were told we were supposed to look and act and behave a certain way. We all have this ideal of perfection and we think we're going to be safe. The brain thinks we're going to be safe, but it's a lie. It's an illusion. And it's time for us to make peace with that truth. Okay? So may we all begin to unravel our authentic expression and give ourselves permission to do that. And that might ruffle some feathers. You might have to quit some things. You might have to say no to some things. You might feel needy. That's okay. Follow your bliss. Follow your heart. Follow your soul's desires. Who are you underneath who the world told you to be? That's exactly what your family and the world needs from you. Okay, the last piece, the last cost, and there's more, y'all. There is definitely more, but listen, I just wanted to share 3 that have been really coming up lately for my clients, for me, in the world. The third cost to perfectionism is your mental health. Boop, boops, boom. It's a sledgehammer to your mental health. Why? Because to be in a constant fear of judgment, which is basically perfectionism, means you're living with some negative ass internal dialogue, aren't you? You got a mean inner girl, don't you? You're constantly looking for where you're falling short. You're constantly telling yourself it's not enough. You're constantly criticizing what you're seeing in the mirror. You're constantly telling yourself that you bombed that presentation. Whether you know it or not, are in a perpetual state of negative internal dialogue. And our thoughts are powerful. Those nasty negative thoughts are poisoning your brain and body. I want you guys to look up this experiment, the water molecule experiment on YouTube. Let me repeat that, the water molecule experiment. Okay, it's where a Japanese scientist, I can't forget his name, or I can't remember his name right now, studied water molecules. And they divided these water molecules up and they spoke kind words and set kind intentions and showed positive pictures to half of the water molecule samples, and then said negative words and showed negative pictures and negative images and negative affirmations to the other half. And what you see happens to the water molecules themselves will blow you away. The ones that were shown the devil and Hitler and told I hate you and you're ugly looked like cancer cells. They were dark, they were black, they were discombobulated, okay? They didn't even look like anything. The cells, however, that were spoken, you're beautiful, and shown Mother Teresa and God and all of these beautiful things, they looked like the most beautiful snowflakes and water crystals. Like I can't even explain it. They looked like surreal, so beautiful. And then he ends with reminding us that we are made up of 70% water. So in other words, when I say that your negative thoughts, your mean girl thoughts that you're in because of perfectionism are literally poisoning you on a cellular level, I mean it. That's what I mean. Because your negative thoughts release hormones like cortisol and adrenaline, which fire up your nervous system, which we label emotions such as anxiety or irritability or sadness or overwhelm or anger or whatever it is. And it's from those emotions that we take action. And this is where we get really stuck. And when you believe those negative thoughts long enough, they become beliefs. And those beliefs are how you see yourself and the world around you. And you're going to find what you're looking for. So if you have a belief that you're a piece of shit, your brain is going to find evidence that supports that theory, therefore perpetuating that belief, therefore perpetuating those negative thought loops and continuously dumping you with that cortisol and adrenaline. And this is why we are a straight up walking anxious species, because many of us are stuck in this loop. Okay, if you haven't already, go back to the podcast episode called Diffusing from Your Negative Thoughts. I believe I released it on May 23rd, where I give you an actual therapeutic technique on how to deal with your negative thoughts. But this is why your perfectionism is affecting your mental health, because you are living in negative thoughts. They are releasing hormones that feel like unpleasant emotions, and you are perpetuating these beliefs about yourself that are also creating these crappy realities for yourself, and you get stuck. And then energetically, all that negative thinking and the hormones and the anxiety and the fear of the judgment, that is all a very low frequency energetic output. And if you're going to project that out, you have to know that you're calling that back in. So if you're constantly in fear of judgment, you're probably finding yourself judging others, and you're probably around people that are judgmental. If you're constantly stuck in the victim loop, your bad things are probably continuously happening. If you're stuck in the anger, you're probably in conflict with everybody in your life. And so we can get really stuck in this like apathetic energy, which is the lowest frequency, or this anger, shame, and blame energy, which is the second lowest frequency. And you have to understand that like energy attracts like energy. So if you're operating from this place of not enoughness, you're also attracting people, places, things, and experiences to mirror that energy. So I want you to think of energy levels as like radio stations. So the lowest level of energy is the level 1. It's the apathy. It's the victim. The level 1 is going to be sending signals out to all the other level 1s, and they're going to find each other, right? They're all going to congregate in the break room and bitch about the same things in their lives every day, never doing anything different, but bitching about the same thing in the same time, in the same place for 30 years. Right? The level 2s, the angry people on the road tend to see all the other angry people on the road, right? And then you have an issue at Starbucks, and then you have an issue at work, and then you have an issue with your partner, and you're just attracting everyone else that's angry. And by the way, anger is not a bad thing. It's a massive shift from apathy. You can actually get some things done. But if you stay stuck there forever, again, you're attracting people, places, and things. And if your organization is stuck in that energetic state, you're attracting clients and business partners that are there too. You really want to start to become aware of your energetic frequency, your output, and start to climb that ladder. And when you begin to take personal responsibility for your life and your thoughts and your feelings and your healing, you automatically go up to level 3, which is forgiveness of self and others and taking personal responsibility for outcomes. That's a massive energetic upgrade. And so mental health overlaps with energy a lot, because when we're stuck in those low feelings, we tend to also live in these unpleasant realities. And it's not as simple as, oh, just feel better. There are definitely times when that's harder to do than others. But there's also things that we can be doing every single day to help ourselves, like cleaning up our negative ass thoughts, using the techniques that I'm teaching you, making sure that you're doing things for your mental health, like getting outside, getting a 20-minute walk to complete your stress cycle, having therapy, taking medication, taking your supplements, nourishing your body, all those things. Anything that you do to help yourself with your mental health, you're also lifting your vibration. Okay? Those two go hand in hand. All right? And so, yeah, perfectionism, my loves, you think that it's helping you get where you want to go, but it's not. It's costing you your productivity because you're procrastinating, because you're afraid to get started and you're afraid to put yourself out there. It's also costing your authenticity, which means whatever you're showing up as is a weak-ass version of you. And I say that with love, but it's not the fullest freaking expression. And I want all of you, babe. And number 3, it's a sledgehammer to your mental health. Constantly being in a state of fear of being judged is a brutal place to be. And that mental health issue also becomes an energetic issue. And so hopefully this helps you see that even if you have these beliefs that like, I still need to outperform, I still need to outrun, I still need to outplease to get where I want to go, I hope by listening to some of these costs, something in here resonates with you where you go, you know what? I'm tired. I'm tired of running. I'm tired of outperforming. I'm tired of perfecting. I'm tired of being afraid of what other people think. I'm tired of being a shapeshifter and adjusting to every environment and what others want me to be. I'm tired of trying to anticipate the room and being what the room wants me to be. I'm tired of wearing my mask. I'm tired of wearing this armor. I'm sick of not being who I really am or going after the things in my life that I really want. I hope this inspires you to take a small baby step toward embracing all of you, right? Embracing all of you. And so, the work that we do with clients is around helping them shed the shoulds, embrace their messy, and normalize normal so they can integrate all of them and show up as their fullest expression. But those kind of 3 steps, embrace your messy, shed the shoulds, and normalize normal, help us along the way. So where are you shoulding on yourself? Because a lot of times that shoulding is like cousins with your perfectionistic drives. I should be coming in early. I should be showing up late. I should be, working on that presentation till 2 a.m. I should be working out 5 days a week. I should be eating more clean. I should be Follow your shoulds, because they're going to get to some of those beliefs that are driving some of these perfectionistic tendencies. And once you identify what the belief is, you need to put it on the table. You need to take a step back, zoom out, Get off your own hamster wheel and ask yourself, is this belief relevant for the modern mom world today? Do I actually need to do that shit? Do I actually want to do that? If it's not a hell yes, it's a no. We give that belief an upgrade to something that's more fitting and relevant to the world that you live in now. So when you're trying to figure out your perfectionism and where you can clean some of it up, where you can heal some of it, where you can transform some of it, follow your shoulds. Your shoulds are going to give you some good insight into what's driving you and why. And this programming around doing more so you can be enough, let me just tell you, we're done with that. We're not doing everything perfectly anymore. We're living consciously and with clear intention. And we're pouring our heart and soul and guts into the shit that actually matters. And that's how we're making a difference in the damn world. Even if it is in large ways, medium ways, or small ways. But we are no longer pleasing the masses. We are no longer doing all the things that is burning us out and that is making us sick, and that's no longer appropriate for all the shit that we do as modern women, as modern working moms, as humans, for gosh sakes. Okay? So shed the shoulds, right? Embrace your messy. Listen, y'all know I am a messy queen. I have a bad mouth. I can sometimes drink too much. I can say mean things. I'm really hard on myself. I have like tons of shame. I can burn myself out. I can fall back into these patterns that I'm talking about right now, where I just self-sabotage. But those parts of me, when I start to heal them, when I start to embrace them, when I start to accept them, when I start to integrate them, when they're more healed, those are also the parts of me that are passionate, that are hungry, that want to make an impact, that want to raise my children beautifully, that make people laugh, that move people, that inspire people to make change in their fucking lives so they can feel better. Those same parts of me that are messy are also the parts of me that are making a difference in the world, even in my small little corner that I'm doing it, right? That loud version of me is also the one that will stand up for you behind your back, the one that will advocate for you to your boss, the one that is challenging CEOs to give a shit about mental health and working mothers. You believe I have those conversations every day behind closed doors. So once we embrace our messy and we begin to accept it and embrace it and integrate it, you see, we start to realize it's a double-edged sword, that when it's healthy, it's also part of our superpower. You see that? And so your messy is also beautiful and important and part of your superpower too. But if we don't acknowledge it, you're just completely ignoring and neglecting some of your best goods, my love. Stop selling yourself short. Live out loud. It doesn't matter if it doesn't resonate with everybody. It doesn't matter if it turns some people off. I don't give a shit if everybody doesn't like me. I'm not here to heal the whole entire world. I'm here to help a couple people and my goddamn self along the way. Okay? Embrace your messy. Your flaws are not as bad as you think they are. Everybody has a shadow. Everybody has parts of themselves that they want to keep hidden. Everybody has scary thoughts and weird tendencies, right? We're freaking animals at the end of the day. And don't you forget it. Human beings do some weird shit. So you're not fooling me that you don't have any of this. I like people who just own their shit. Just own their shit. The messier, the better. But if they own it, you're my people. You know why? Because you're real and you're vulnerable. And you're a work in progress, and so am I. So I see you, sister. And I hope that by me embracing my messy out loud, I allow you to do the same. I remind you that it's safe and okay to take a piece of that mask off, to live in your authentic essence. And the last thing is normalizing normal, which I feel like I just did. Like, to be a human being is messy, and there's just such a wide range of normal. And everybody's trying to figure out the right way to do everything. And everyone's trying to figure out how to be the perfect parent and have the perfect sex and have the perfect body. Guys, there is no such thing. It's an illusion. And your idea of the perfect body will just keep climbing and escalating, and your idea of the perfect career will just keep climbing and escalating. So there's a wide range of normal, right? There's a wide range of normal. Is it normal to fight with your partner? Yes. Is it normal to sometimes yell at your kids and then repair? Yes. Is it normal to have a shit ton of energy and then none the next day? Yes. Is it normal to suffer with mental health? Yes. Is it normal to go on medication, off medication? Yes. Is it normal to have sex with your partner all the time? Yes. And none others? Yes. Is it normal? I mean, come on, you guys. Is it normal to struggle with your body image? Yes. Is it normal to fight with your mother? Yes. Is it normal to doubt yourself? Yes. Is it normal to binge in your pantry late at night after drinking a bottle of wine because you're just in a shitstorm? Yes. And so much more. And so instead of shaming yourself and then doubling down on your perfection, I want to normalize normal. That's why I'm willing to show up and show my messy so you can see this wide range of normal. Because this is the vicious cycle, is we try to be perfect, and when we don't, we shame the shit out of ourselves, and then we double down on our efforts for perfectionism. And this is where we get stuck in this vicious cycle and ultimately burn out. So, my loves, may you shed the shoulds, embrace your messy, and let's normalize normal together so we can make space for all of our big messy lives, so we can continue to be a work in progress, so we can continue to take our masks off together and shine fucking bright and do big and beautiful things in the world. That's it for tonight. It's getting darker and darker in here. My vocabulary is lessening, and I'm actually getting a cramp in my left foot. I love you so much. I will see you same time, same place next week. Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to the Unperfected Pod. I hope this episode helped you feel a little less alone and a little more inspired to be you. If you like what we're doing here, I would so appreciate that you subscribe, rate, and review this podcast. If you do, share the episode on Instagram and tag me at BrookeJeanUnperfected to enter to win a 1-to-1 laser coaching session. Also, feel free to join me in my private Facebook community, Mommy's Mental Health Matters, where we continue the conversation. Thanks again for being here, and see you in next week's episode.